Hey everyone, you're tuned into InfoQuench with Jeff.
And Amy. Join us as we talk about anything.
And everything.
All the stuff that makes life interesting.
So let's get to it. Hey everybody, and welcome to InfoQuench. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm Amy.
And this podcast, we're going to be talking about mental health.
We are, and specifically mental health in the realm of the pandemic.
Yes, there's a lot of things going around people's minds, I'm sure. A lot of different changes, a lot of different, routines.
Yeah.
So
I think there's, everybody is dealing with this differently, but I think looking after our mental health is something that is key. Mm-hmm. We all know that we're now in this for the long haul. It's April 29th that we're recording this episode, so we're well into it now.
It's kind of funny seeing the progression of COVID-19 as we record these podcasts and how it changes.
Yeah, just a quick update on where we're at here in New Brunswick. We're fortunate enough that it has been several days now that we
10 days
haven't had any new cases, and we're starting to think about the future and lifting a little bit of the restrictions, but we're definitely far from being anywhere back to normal.
We're allowed to have a bubble with another household, basically meaning that you can choose that household, they can choose you, and that's it.
Well, yeah, and that in and of itself raised a lot of debate. I saw it on social media, and we talked about it among our own friends and family, that when the government said that you could have another family, right, and it was sort of an exclusive relationship that you got to choose this one other family, it became quite a discussion among people about who to choose.
Right.
And I think a lot of us too, we have grown quite accustomed to a certain sense of fear and wanting to remain isolated. So taking that step to then widen the I guess breadth of your contacts and taking on maybe a little bit of additional risk is hard for some people to take.
A lot of people didn't take it on at all.
Yeah, we know quite a few people decided just that they were just quite happy just to stick with their family, or didn't want to make the decision, or are working outside the home, and so felt that maybe that they had a bit of an added risk that they didn't want to extend to anybody else. So
right.
It's been an interesting time, and so I wanted to do an episode specifically around mental health and some strategies that you can put in place to try to keep yourself in a good mindset as we go through this, because it's hard. I know that I've personally had ups and downs. You have
transitional,
days,
right?
Well, I think it's you don't want to think about it too much, and you definitely need to be proactive and do some things. And there are just easy things that you can do every day. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to do a dozen mental health tips for during a pandemic.
And of course, mental health is always important to stay on top of. If you do suffer from mental health, definitely get the help that you need. Like, we're not professionals, but we're just sharing some ideas with you. But there are other professionals out there.
Well, we are professionals, just not professionals at mental health.
There are professionals out there, though, that can help, and definitely reach out. And if you feel like you need help, let's just say that right from the get-go, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. There are a lot of resources available, so make sure that you make that call and reach out if you do need help. So one of the things that I came across, and I did a little I know it's surprising, I did a little research for this episode, but one of the tips that I came across was to have some micro lifts during your day.
Yeah.
And this isn't a term I was familiar with, but
little things that will make you feel better. Just little things.
I think that in our regular life, in our pre-pandemic life, there are little things that you do, little micro lifts throughout the course of your day that you look forward to that you may not even really think about that much. It could be going to get your morning coffee.
Or making your bed.
Maybe, well, I don't know if that, but maybe it's going to Tim Hortons. Maybe it's meeting a friend for lunch. Maybe it's running into somebody unexpectedly. So we have these little lifts that occur throughout our day in a normal in our normal routine. But when you're isolated at home, those lifts are less likely to occur, and you need to be a little bit more strategic about planning them. So the idea around this is to have some things to look forward to that act as micro lifts. Maybe it's having scheduled, FaceTime or video chats. Anybody who has Facebook Messenger can do video chat if they have
At any
internet
time,
access.
yeah.
So, stay connected and have some things that you can look forward to in the course of your day. And so that's tip number 1.
What are some good micro lifts to do? I guess, Messenger and stuff.
Staying
Messenger
connected
video
with
chats.
people. Other suggestions I read were, you could join an online book club.
Oh,
A lot of
yeah.
people are doing a lot of. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat.
I find that one of the things that I like to do is have like a daily routine thing. Like I don't know why, but lately I've just been sharing a lot of my antique books because I don't really know much about them. I've had them for a very long time, and so I just want to know a little bit more about them. So I'm doing it primarily for myself, but then I share it as well on the old Facebook. So it's kind of a fun way to learn what books I have, as well as share it with other people who may enjoy it as well, and just because there's a lot of really interesting aspects to books that aren't just like what the book is. It's like who owned it beforehand. They write their names in it from 1944. I mean, who are these people?
I know. I
It's
have
just-
a
it's
newfound
interesting.
appreciation for our library upstairs, as we had. It's not, and this. I think you taking that step and sharing those books is not something you would have done in regular times, but because we have some time on our hands.
Right. I just do it every morning. I just take I carve out like 5 or 10 minutes to do a quick little bit of research, which I learned from you, and learn about the books and snap a few illustrations from inside and the cover and stuff, and then boom, you're off to the races.
So, definitely check that out. And you're on Instagram. Obviously, follow InfoQuench on Instagram. That's where
Yeah.
we have our largest presence. I think we're over 3,000 followers now. So
Yeah.
if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you hop on and do that. But Jeff also has McLennan Photos.
Yes, McLennan Photos on Instagram.
Right, where he shares a lot of his great photography and including
Yeah.
what he was just talking about with the books. And so online book clubs are a thing. And, I know a lot of people are spending more time reading. So that might be something you want to check out as a
That's
micro
something.
lift.
It's so funny because I am doing this thing on Facebook with the books and stuff, my antique books. My
And then you're not
vintage
reading
book-
them?
But I'm not reading them.
Then I just put them
but
back
you know
on the
what though?
shelf.
There's been a couple that I have come across, especially The Mystery of the Red House or something like that by A.A. Milne, who wrote Winnie the Pooh, which
Yes.
is the one I featured yesterday, I think it was. But I want to read that because it's supposedly one of the best mystery novels ever written.
Oh,
So I don't know. I've never really read too much.
I'm glad we
mystery
didn't
novels.
KonMari it.
Yeah. Well, no, not the antique.
No, I
books,
know
baby.
the antique books they made the cut when we were KonMariing. Number 2, structure your day. So I think it's important to have a little bit of a routine. I know it is for our family, and it doesn't need to be overly.
Just a little. I was just picking a little piece of the rubber that was on Amy's neck from the headphones.
Yeah, these.
That's why she was all scattered.
Our,
Sorry,
our,
go
lu-
ahead.
our,
Go ahead,
lux- our
continue.
luxury audio equipment
Yeah.
sometimes sheds,
sheds these,
fibers
like-
onto us.
Yeah.
We walk away with black bits and such on our.
It's
our
funny
ears
because
and
I
face.
honestly thought that you would be able to just like not be.
I can't
like,
not react when someone's picking something off my
so I was
face.
just like, no, it's off your neck, literally off the side of your neck.
Yeah, even more so.
Anyway.
I was, yeah.
What were you saying though? What were you so
I
brilliantly
have no
saying?
idea what I was saying. Oh, add structure to your day.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, structure.
No, from a mental health perspective, and I think even for if you're a parent and you have kids thrive on structure and routine. So having some sort of structure to the day, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is important to kind of keep us going, keep
Absolutely.
us moving.
Absolutely.
Number 3 is to get dressed.
Get dressed, yeah. Our kid didn't get dressed today, though.
He wears,
He wears
loves that.
onesie
He got an
all day.
amazing onesie for Christmas that's super comfy, and
Yeah.
when he wears that onesie, it ends up being like a day-long expedition.
Yeah.
I can't blame him though. It's a nice onesie.
Well, that's one thing that you and I always do. I mean, I know a lot of people, a guy I work with, he says anytime he can be in his pajamas, he is because of this COVID-19. But anytime, I mean, I don't, yeah, I just want to get dressed. I
No,
get
yeah,
dressed
for me,
after-
it's important to.
Yeah,
I
agree.
stick with the exact same routine. I'm still working full time, but I'm working from home. But I stick with the same routine as if I were walking out the door and going to work. Essentially,
Yeah.
I just feel better. I know getting dressed, and it just makes me feel more normal.
Did you hear about the reporter? I think it was on an American news chase or news, not news chaser, but news station, and he thought that it would just be a shot from him, like from the torso up. So he didn't wear pants when in his video interview during a live.
Like no pants or just
Just
pajama
like
pants.
I think honestly, I think he was just
It's
wearing
like,
boxers,
like full on naked.
but he got busted. Like they just showed him full on, and
That's
he was
awesome.
totally busted.
I think if I worked for that news agency and my coworker was doing that, I would completely. Yeah, that's
Support
awesome.
them?
No, I would completely bust them. I'd be like, yeah,
It's funny.
we got that shot. We're using it. But no, I think again, keeping that sense of normalcy and just getting up, feeling human. I remember going through this, shortly after our son was born, and you sort of go through that time frame where your days and your nights are flipped upside down because you're nursing and sleeping 2 or 3 hours at a time. And I remember even at that point, it was important to take the time to kind of get up and just get dressed, and about once your child reaches about 6 months old,
Yeah,
you start to wear clothes again.
it's true.
Not just Ho Scouts.
No, it's important. It's important to keep your daily schedule to a degree. You can deviate from it here and there. Like on
yeah,
the
why
weekends,
not?
I wear pajamas, like a little bit longer than I normally would.
I feel strange wearing pajamas all day long.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe I'll wear a sweatshirt that I wouldn't normally wear to work in an
Yeah.
office environment. I choose to maybe wear more comfortable clothes, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I don't know. I still, I think
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, getting dressed and having that routine is important.
Yeah.
Number 4, avoid Groundhog Day vibes.
Right, doing the same thing over and
Yes,
over.
and when
over.
you're stuck in your house and there are not events that you're looking forward to and gatherings with friends, it's hard not to get Groundhog Day vibes.
Right, yeah. I agree. Yeah.
You
It
know?
would be hard. And the more you can kind of get sunk in that quicksand of repetition and just like boring, just, repetition, I guess.
So I think it's more than ever, it's important to have those special times like family movie nights, and whether it's deciding to do a picnic, if you're going out and if you're in a place where you're able to enjoy some time outdoors,
Yeah.
as a family, just planning some things that are unique and special that you can look forward to that break up your days so that they're not just a repetition, because that can really drain on anybody's mental health when you have that the Groundhog Day syndrome.
It's funny though,
Just ask
right?
Bill Murray.
It's funny though because repetition is something that is comforting for a lot of people, and it is good to do things over and over, but it can be overdone. You can do it too much, and then you lose that fabric of sanity.
Well, it's
that you
interesting
need.
because I said earlier, it's important to have the sort of the structure and the routine for your mental health. But then it's also important to have some things that are different and
Absolutely.
are a surprise and something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a balance.
What number are we on now? 5?
Oh, we are on number 5. Yes,
Who's paying attention?
Yeah,
Moi.
connect with nature.
Yes.
This one I've found really important for, and I think mostly because we're all in our homes
Yeah.
for the vast majority of the time. So I think getting outside and spending that time out in nature. Personally, I have
I need it.
I always feel so much better when I'm near water. Just
Yeah.
fresh air, just having sunshine.
Well, we make it a point to do nature walks, like nothing too extravagant because we got a 7-year-old, but like we always want to be out into the trees on a nice sunny day, just going along a path. There's a really wonderful path at Tucker Park that we love. It's great.
Yeah, we've got awesome trail systems here in St. John, New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Even our categories, if you've heard
Charlie wants to go. Yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky enough that we're, you know, we're doing well in terms of the pandemic and our case numbers, so we're able to enjoy our park still and maintain social
Yeah.
distancing. And but yeah, nature is truly important for mental health. And number 6, this one's interesting. It's, you know, you need to spend some time alone, and that seems strange because we're all isolating, so to speak, but we're not really alone. You know, the vast majority of us are living in a household with at least one other person, if not more.
Yeah, you got to get away from them every once in a while.
Well, you do, I think, for the sanity of everybody in the house, but even just, you know, having some time to reflect and just be by yourself. People who, you know, maybe have commuted to work before the pandemic had that time, you know, maybe it was just in the car, but they had time to, you know, decompress after a work day or ramp up on the way to work. For me, I'm lucky enough that I was able to walk to and from work, and I always enjoyed that time. It was just, you know, a few minutes to kind of unwind. So you don't really get that if you're in a situation where you happen to be working from. Sorry, I can't ignore the cat.
Cat.
The cat is just.
I love it.
Yang.
You know what? He's just another. He's like our third guest.
Jeff,
or he's our guest.
Jeff, we noticed that the cat has been yanging more so than normal. So Jeff,
since
looked
we've
it
been
up.
home,
you looked it up that
over vocalized cats,
and
that's what it is.
They're mad that we're home so much.
They get freaked out because they're used to having so much time alone to just languish and in the sunshine and stuff, and now we just never leave.
They're like,
so
get
they're
out
just
of the
like,
house.
Get out of here. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, he's nonstop. Mm-hmm. And I don't mind at all.
No, Amy's not a cat lover. I've had that cat a long time though.
So how do you spend time alone? That's true.
So how do you what?
How do you spend time alone? Well,
go for walks.
You can go for walks. I know you and I do that. I make an effort. I get up, before sunrise each day.
I like to listen to music with headphones on and pretend no one's here.
Is that what you do? Is that what's happening? When you have those headphones on, you're just wishing us all away?
Absolutely. I am into the music.
Yeah.
Actually, and you know what? Like, let's just bring that up just quickly. I know it's probably not on your list, but listening to music, man,
it's not on my list.
It can bring you out of a funk if you listen to the right music. It can lift you up. It can show you how to find that door that makes you feel better, you know?
Well, music for me is incredibly nostalgic.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
So you can reflect and go back in time and on other memories and that's what I truly enjoy about music.
Spotify, I don't know for how long now, and just in the last month you've made your own playlist.
I know.
With all your Fleetwood Mac and your Simon and Garfunkel and your Vampire Weekend.
I'm predictable. So Janis Joplin, Cat Stevens.
Yeah. You know what you like.
You're not making fun of me at all, right?
No, I'm not actually. It's good.
All right. But yes, so, you know, whether it's carving out, maybe it's if you're a morning person, maybe it's the early morning hours, maybe it's, late evening, but carving out a little bit of space, just for you and not to feel guilty about it. And hopefully you have a partner or somebody who supports that and can give you that time, whether it's just to read a book.
Yeah. You can get a lot of your feelings and emotions out too, just by like drawing a picture or painting a picture or something, finding some kind of a release that way, for your mental anguish.
Mental anguish.
Well, I mean, your mental
for your mental health.
If you have like mental anguish,
I'm
that
trying
can
to
help
keep the
you.
Terminology positive for those who are.
Yeah, or mental health. Positive. Right. Okay. You're right.
No, I think a creative outlet is a really important way to keep things on the up and up.
Absolutely.
Number 7 is eat some healthy food. It's easy to fall into the pandemic chips.
Yeah.
And as I sip on a margarita.
Yeah. I've got water.
It's a skinny margarita. Does that count?
I don't know what that even means. Does it make you skinny?
Yes, honey. Yes, it does.
Wow.
No, it just means it doesn't have sugar in it.
Oh, I see.
It's just pure vodka, triple sec.
Oh,
lime juice and water.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
And a little bit of salt for good health. Yeah, so back to number 7 on the mental health. That's just healthy food. Yeah, so eating some healthy food. I mean, it's important for your mental health. It's also important for your overall general health. And at this time, more than ever, you want to keep a good immune system. You want to keep your immune system energized. So,
D3, some
Yeah.
D3 and some fish oil. I don't know if that even helps, but don't listen to me. I'm not a doctor, everyone.
I'm not a doctor. I just play one on a podcast.
That's right. I just play one on a podcast.
No, but I think it's, eating some healthy produce. Don't get it, overdo it on the processed foods and the comfort foods. And comfort food can be healthy food too. You've made it a couple of times now, turmeric soup that is just...
Stew.
Oh, it's a
It's
stew.
stew, baby.
What defines a stew
It's
versus
just
a
thicker.
soup?
It's just thicker. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
Because
it
of the
is. It is.
chickpeas?
It is really good.
Oh, and
this
coconut milk?
turmeric, yeah, coconut milk, and it's delicious. I was wondering what my mom thought of it because I dropped some off for her yesterday.
That's always a great way too
So
to...
how'd you like that, Mom?
We always focus on our own we're focusing on our mental health in this episode, but also think about those around you and how you can reach out. And, I saw a post today where somebody had received a note in the mail with, just a few tea bags and something and a card from a friend just saying that they're thinking about them, knowing that they were having a difficult time. So
Right.
I think that those types of things, reaching out and staying connected in many ways through snail mail, through video
important.
chats.
It's important. I know, like a lot of people are, in their own way, freaked out by COVID-19, but there's no reason not to be kind. No reason not to be kind.
There's never an excuse not
and
to be
understanding.
kind.
Yeah.
Number 8 is physical activity, and physical activity is just a proven. It gets the endorphins going. It's just great for your overall energy levels, and it's good for your overall health. But it's especially important for mental health.
Absolutely.
And you might have to get a little bit more creative. If you're somebody who regularly went to a gym, you may be feeling a little bit of withdrawal from that. Having that sense of community in a gym, so you may need to be a little bit more creative and find some things online, but maybe join some groups where you can still have some online dialogue about your workouts or your...
There's a lot of
whatever you're
YouTube
doing.
videos where people just walk you right through it, right?
Right. Or even if you're just, physical activity doesn't have to be complicated. It can be, putting on your headphones, download your favorite episode of InfoQuench and just going out for a walk.
Absolutely. InfoQuench. Everywhere.
Jeff and our son Hux went to just one of the empty parking lots actually in our uptown area to play catch recently because
Almost every parking lot is empty now. So.
That's right. So even though the fields were closed, they were able to go to a parking lot and use that wide open space to be well social distance from everybody, but still get some physical activity in. So sometimes it's a matter of being a little bit more creative, but
right.
And if you're looking for more tips around, things that you can do with your kids and during the pandemic, check out the Pandemic Parenting page on Facebook. It's
filled with resources for your
Right.
young ones.
We have one here that in St. John that's quite local with a lot of local members from St. John, but I know that there are a ton of Facebook groups popping up all over the world to support parents going through this. So be sure to check those out.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 is to stay connected to people, and not just the people that you live with, but keep those relationships going with friends. And we joke a little bit about, we were joking with our friends recently that this is sort of the ultimate social cleanse where you realize, the people you want to spend time with and the people you don't, because the people who don't really value, those relationships just sort of fall away.
Right.
Nobody's really reaching out to one another to maintain those. But the ones that you do truly value, make sure you have the time and you set aside the time to connect with your friends and have, it doesn't have to be anything lengthy. It can be a quick video chat. I think the face-to-face is a great, having that, not face-to-face, but you know what I mean, seeing the face on a video platform versus just a
Yeah,
phone conversation is nice.
I gotta say, I'm still getting used to the whole idea of video chatting with multiple people. I find it can get way too cacophonous, and it's way too confusing sometimes. But most time it works. But I'm still growing to like it. To be honest.
I actually don't find it too difficult, but I do a lot of video conferencing for my work. So
Okay.
I actually find it easier to, when you have multiple people involved in a conversation, to have video because you can see their faces and you can see facial expressions when people are ready to talk. And I find it's easier to know when to pause and let the other person speak than if you're on a conference call where it's just vocals. It's a little more tricky. But
When you're in a social environment, though, it can be just chaotic.
well,
Everybody
once the
wants to
drinks are
talk.
flowing,
Yes,
I think
exactly.
everyone's.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
But isn't that the case even in real life?
But it is. Yes, it is.
in
It
well, I
truly
say
is.
in real life, in
But
three-dimensional.
It is fun, though. It is fun. It's great to see everybody, and it's there's the same kind of jokes are cracked and whatever. It's fun, right?
Yeah, and a great way to do it, you can set up a messenger group and just have some, the friends that you would regularly connect with, and you set them up in a group, and that way when people
save
are on
it.
video chat, they can just see if there's a sort of a conversation going on and just join in through Messenger. So, that's something that we've been doing, and I enjoy it. I look forward to it, and
It is fun. I'm just getting used to it. That's all.
another reason to get dressed.
Yeah, or undressed.
Number 10 on mental. What kind of chats are we promoting
I just
here?
thought I'd throw that in there.
Making sure I was paying attention, right? And not just focused on my list.
That's right.
I'm focused on my list. Number 10, make a list of the pros of the positive things that are coming out of the pandemic. And there are a lot of them. There are a lot of, whether it's looking at the positive benefits for the environment or the time to focus on more your immediate family or, maybe it's renovating or doing things just around your home to make your home a more cozy, inviting place. But looking at the very, there are a lot of positive things that are coming out of this. So sometimes writing them down can just make them a little bit more tangible and can kind of keep you mentally in a more positive place.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Number 11 is sort of the flip side of that is just to protect yourself from too much negativity. And I think that it's an important balance of keeping yourself informed and
Meaning the news, really.
reading, set aside some time where you catch up on the news for the day, what you need to know in terms of the government restrictions and cases and that sort of thing. But it's not something that you need to, immerse yourself in every minute of
Especially
the day.
with the little ones around. We've learned that. We maybe learned that the hard way. We were watching CNN one time, and it was like talking about heavy-duty stuff. And then we just turned it after the
Well,
bad
yeah, I
part.
think as adults we become desensitized when they're talking about deaths and all
Yeah.
these things, and you got to realize,
Yeah.
remember, I guess, that our kids are listening to all of that.
And that is really what a lot of the news organizations start with. They start with the most, incredible death counts and whatever, it's
Well,
just
it's all about the shock and awe
it's just-
factor.
yeah, exactly.
And it's been an incredibly difficult time in our region specifically. In our sister province of Nova Scotia, there was a mass shooting. So then,
gosh.
the
News wasn't on
the
when
many-
when our little one was in the
No,
room.
and that's something that we decided not to
Oh,
get
yeah.
into at all. But it was, people are going through so much. So I think, having compassion at every turn, giving people the benefit of the doubt, when you're seeing comments on Facebook or posts and things like that is more important than ever.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Just to extend that kindness. And my number 12 on mental health is to go easy on yourself. So make sure you turn that compassion inward as well. And
Congratulate yourself.
Well, yeah,
for
it's okay to have a
doing
down
well.
day and a bad day, but bounce back. You'll bounce back. It's okay that your kid is probably getting 20 times more screen time.
Yeah, and it can't be overemphasized that if you are having a hard time, reach out to someone that you care about and that you trust, and talk to them.
Right. And if you feel alone, there are numbers to call. There are, hotlines to call, children's help phone, all kinds of resources available if you think that your kids or your teenagers may need somebody to speak with and aren't comfortable reaching out to you. Maybe just sharing that information with the people that need it. So just, stay tuned into that. Stay tuned into yourself and to what your feelings are and to the people around you, because we are all in this together.
Keep on keeping it real, people. Thanks for listening.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.
And remember, you can catch up on past episodes at InfoQuench.com.
Or just about anywhere else you get your podcasts.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And help spread the word about InfoQuench.
Till next time.